Hello and welcome to the Dice Cup Nottingham and to our Versus series where we're going to be demonstrating some live paper magic. So our feature match today is our final round of Outlaws of Thunder Junction draft. This is the top table. We have Henry playing green-white against Ember, who's playing black-white. We play here at the Dice Cup every Friday night, as long as it's not pre-release weekend. We have normally 2 full pods, sometimes 3 every Friday night. I do think it is the best place in the country for limited magic. So please, if you're in the area, come and join us on a Friday night. Ember has started out with a pretty good 1-2 curve. Henry has plotted the Dust Animus. Oof. Thunder Lasso. We already have 2 tappers on board, so Henry's going to really need to add to the board here. We have a Vengeful Townsfolk, a 3 for 3 with upside, and yet even still this is a mid card in the format. It'll be interesting to see whether Henry regrets not playing this 2-3 flyer earlier, considering the tempo start that Ember's had. Holy cow. I do like the Holy Cow, and it's probably my favourite. Is it my favourite? Probably my second favourite art of this set. I think Cactarantula wins it. Both very, very good cards in the draft format as well. Here's another cow. So Henry is playing what's I think categorically the best colour pairing of this limited format of Outlaws, but we haven't seen mounts yet, and the mounts is really what makes green-white very, very difficult to beat. I think it's actually one of the most unbalanced limited formats that we've had in recent years. We have another ankle biter to gum up the board, and Dust Animus copy number 2. Yikes. But with Ember tapping these down, there's not going to be much opportunity for Henry to claw this back. We have a chump block in the air here from Henry to beef the townsfolk, which does suggest that the townsfolk is probably going to be getting in for some damage. Yeah, these things aren't going to hit very often. Prosperity Tycoon, we like that one. So I was playing in this tournament as well, and I actually drafted right next to Ember. I ended up in green-white myself, but was playing more of a mounts deck. I was very fortunate actually in the draft. Best deck was open, and I was rewarded. But I did lose round 1. To a tempo deck as well actually, but it was blue-red. Ah, nice alien zombie rogue token.
it would be funny on camera. Yep.
Move to combat.
I'm going to tap down the Animus on the left.
I'll attack with this Animus. 5 in the air.
5?
Yeah, 4 in the
4 in the air. So I think this is. We might have missed an opportunity already, but I think Henry should be trying to apply a bit more pressure on the ground here. We have ankle biters to stop any attacks on the ground. The Tycoon and the townsfolk probably should be attacking. I think this is a really interesting point in limited Magic. Is how can I? Oh, asking yourself the question during the game: how can I apply pressure and switch this game from me being the person being beaten down to becoming the aggressor? And Ember's basically just allowed to do her thing. Having said that, like these tappers are certainly doing their thing.
I'll put it onto the rogue.
Yep. Make this.
Yep.
Go to combat.
Tap down one of the animi.
Yep. 4.
14.
We have a hit.
One in hand.
One in hand.
Ow.
There's still probably an opportunity to be attacking on the ground, but
Move the lasso back to the cow.
Yep.
we're close to death here anyway.
4. Yep. I'll go to 3.
Yep. Pass turn. Drop. Yep.
That was a cow that Henry's just drawn, which means he's not out of it.
I'll like to tap down that one. I'll like to tap down the other one.
Go.
Untap. Swamp.
So it's two interesting kind of what would I call it, macro decisions in this game from Henry, and I think the first one is not playing the Dust Animus
5. Strong.
earlier and waiting for it to have lifelink and the 2 counters,
I can't remember. No.
considering he's facing down
X1. Oh, I can't remember.
so many tappers. And then the other one is trying to apply pressure with the creatures that he could attack with. I'm not sure it would necessarily be enough. Lassoed by the Law is going to do a pretty good job of speeding this game up as an alien mercenary. I think this is the first piece of removal we've seen in this game as well, which is impressive. We have a take up the shield there in Henry's hand, but it's not going to be enough for him. He's calling it. Quite possibly just because he'd like to keep that a secret for game 2 rather than
I don't think I got on board. Anyway.
trying to stay in it. Henry mentioning his lack of board presence early on is true. And Ember takes game 1. I want to take this opportunity to let you know about some more things that are going to be coming to the channel. This Versus series, we're going to be looking at some other formats as well. The main formats that we play at the Dice Cup are Standard, Modern, Canlander and Draft. So watch this space.
Yep, I will go second. Nathan, I hope you don't mind that my little guy made a cameo.
I'm going to 6.
I'm going to see what my 7 looks like.
I'm going to game 2. Henry has taken a mulligan,
I'm also going to go to 6.
and so is Ember.
Really slow.
And Henry will be on the play. This, incidentally, is our final Outlaws of Thunder Junction draft in store. Next week we will be playing Modern Horizons 3 again, which is exciting. I do like that format to draft. And then the week after is going to be Bloomborough pre-release, which I'm super stoked about. Little furry creatures. As a fan of the Redwall series when I was younger, I feel like this set is right up my alley. And seems kind of fresh for Magic as well. I'm excited for it. And Henry has got on board on turn 1.
19.
Go.
Who's the aggressor now? Although, no 2-drop.
18.
And Ember plays 2 tapped lands. And no play on turn 3 almost certainly means Holy Cow being flashed in
17.
on end step.
Cow.
And there it is.
19. Swamp. Combat.
Does this also mean that Henry has a Holy Cow? Yes, indeed.
Astonish.
22.
Yep.
Scry 1.
Yep.
Keep that there. No blocks.
No blocks.
No blocks.
Okay.
20.
So Henry's flashed that in during combat, but decided not to block. I wonder whether that is
This guy. Pass.
the influence of the Dust Animus that was on top of deck from the Scry. Although I'm not sure how that really changes things. I suppose Henry is just saying, no, I'm being the aggressor here, and I like that. I do like that.
Planes. Combat. 3.
There's a distinct lack of tapping ability here from Ember so far.
Allow me to sing the song of my people.
But there's already a tapped creature, and Ember destroys it with Ariet's Lullaby. Not a removal spell that's particularly great in this format, but hey, this is limited Magic, and sometimes you've just got to play the removal that you get in the draft. We have a Griffin. So when this one dies, it comes with a 1/1 token.
Combat. Yeah. 5.
We are going to trade.
Take 1. Yeah. Go to 16.
I wonder whether that attack means that Ember does have the... I can't remember the name of it. There's a 4-drop flash flying creature that destroys a damaged creature. That was pretty cool. Pixie bringing back the robber to replay it, to replace the zombie. Shepherd of the Clouds. Now that is a card. That's a house of a card. Probably the best white card outside of Rare and Mythic in the format. Flying Vigilance 4/3 that ETBs and returns a creature, or not even creature, a permanent, mana value 3 or less to hand. Goes to battlefield if you have a mount, but as we were saying earlier, this is a green-white deck that doesn't really have mounts.
I'll block this. Take 4. 12. I'll make a mercenary. Go ahead.
I like how aggressive Ember's being here.
Yep.
I'll scry 1 again to
19 plays 14.
go.
Tap the mercenary, give the pixie +1.
Yeah.
9.
It's all coming.
Move to damage.
Take up the shield is absolutely brutal if Ember does have the
So I'll
2/2 flyer.
trade. I'll
This
die. I'll
completely
16
stonewalls it, and the attack actually suggests that she
17,
does,
plays 19.
Yep.
and that's a that's a potentially game-winning turn.
5, 14.
And fair play to Henry because he could have shown the take up the shield in game one and decided not to.
Yep.
We have a rare
Yep.
Vadmir.
3.
Holy cow.
Sure.
I'll go to 19.
Yep.
Scroll one. Bottom that.
Okay.
Block the Merc.
Take 2.
Yep. 17.
I like the no blocks with the shepherd.
Rooftop assassin.
There it is, rooftop assassin. That's the name of it.
Plus to you.
Yeah, well played, Henry. Well played.
Plot this. 5.
I think Ember was representing it quite hard. But it's still well played to play around it. And it looks like Ember's just stuck on nothing.
Oh, yeah,
And the shepherd is taking over.
Does this not gain you life?
no.
So you're on 9.
So Vadmir gets a counter every time you commit a crime. But does not drain or
Yep.
Go.
gain any life. I mean, it gets lifelink when it's big enough.
5.
Block. Gain 2, go to 6.
Yep, forced to block. Ember's in trouble here on 6 life.
Beekeeper.
Yep.
Pass.
Flashing Holy Cow.
We have our first tapper, but that holy cow's going to do it. Yep. Alright, that's 1-1. We are going to go to game 3. And this next game is going to be for all of the marbles. So, playing for the 3-0 and therefore the victory at the tournament. We did have 16 drafters here. So there's going to be 2 players with a 3-0 record.
That looks fun.
Which means that we're going to hate it in like 3 weeks.
All of the mechanics except Valiant look good.
Valiant even looks pretty okay.
It looks okay.
I feel like I think Valiant's a mechanic that's going to be easy to underrate.
It's heroic but worse, but looks like the
Heroic but trigger. I think heroic but trigger pretty significant as well. Like, because heroic you have to spend mana to trigger it, whereas there are plenty of effects where you can basically just trigger it for free.
Forage looks cool.
Yeah.
Players talking about Bloomborough and its upcoming mechanics. I haven't actually looked into the cards yet, although I'm super excited about it. The main reason I'm excited is because of the art and the theme. I quite often go into pre-releases blind.
2 dust down.
I think that really adds to the fun for me.
Vadmir. Go.
Turn 2, Vadmir. Alright. Ooh, nothing on turn 2 from Henry.
Swamp. Combat. 2.
18.
Rakish Crew comes with a 1-1.
Go. 3 mana, 3.
Yeah, I like playing that. I like playing that on 3.
Hell yeah.
But it also says that Henry's not got much going on here, which is
Trigger
a real concern early on. So modern limited, right? You need to be adding to the board on turn 2, or at least removing something.
Yep.
Stick it to Vadmir. 5.
How big is this?
3/3 plus 1. And on attacks I'll tap that.
Yeah, I'll take 5, go to 12.
Yeah, and that Thunder Lasso on Vadmir is a very sweet little combo, as the Thunder Lasso does target committing a crime for Vadmir and making it bigger. And we've already seen the lack of removal on Henry's side. We've seen a Mystical Tether and a Lassoed from Ember, as well as an Ariet's. What is it? Ariet's Whisper?
Give +1/+0.
Yep.
4 on attack. I will trigger, will tap down.
Yeah, it's good. Always tap down the smallest thing, the least threatening thing, or at least.
Vault Wanderer, target me.
Ooh, I'm getting some value off a Vault Plunderer as well.
Nursery Pixie, pick up.
Speaking of value. This is also just recognition that that extra damage in the air is going to be good with Henry down to 7 already. That mercenary's going to come in handy as well.
Large Mace Circle named White.
To what extent is Ember going to commit to this pixie?
Buff the Pixie. 2. 3 even.
Lasso's not moving, but ooh, tap and an untap. What does this mean? Rooftop Assassin or Holy Cow, I suspect. Oh, we have a flyer. We have a flyer.
Cow.
But now the Thunder Lasso can move and tap it down, unfortunately.
I'll keep that. Raw. You're at 4. Move the lasso onto Pixie.
Yep.
Buff the cow. Go to combat. 6 on attacks, I'll tap this.
And that'll do it.
And trigger bad mirror as well.
There is a take up the shield, but it doesn't really do anything here.
Give it +1/+1 and
Oh, it does do something. That's the way. That's the way to. That's the way to end a game. I like it.
Yeah. That was the rest of my hand.
Well played, guys. Well played. And thanks for joining us.